Thanks for tuning in. I'm Donnie, and in this video I'm going to review all the modifications and upgrades I've made to my 2021 Yamaha YZ250FX since I bought it a couple of months ago. I'll probably continue making changes to the bike as I get more ride time on it, but I've completed all of the initial upgrades I had planned as well as a couple that weren't planned. So let's jump right into the list with some recent ride footage from Trace State Park in Tupelo, Mississippi. One of the first things I did was install ultra heavy duty Michelin tube in the front with my favorite front tire, which is the Dunlop MX33F, staying with the stock size of 80/121. The Michelin ultra heavy duty tube is a 4mm thick tube, and I've never flatted one, so that's my go-to setup for front tires. I've installed tubeless on the rear with a Dunlop MX53 staying with the stock size of 110/118. I've been running tubeless on the rear of my bikes for years, and I really like being able to run low pressure when needed and not worrying about pinch flats. I did a video on my process for installing tubeless, and I'll include a link to that video in the description. I installed some Cycra Pro Bend Ultra handguards with handlebar clamp mounts. Again, this is my go-to setup, and I like these handguards a lot, especially with the handlebar clamp mounts. I was able to trim the stock bar pad to fit over the clamp mounts for a nice clean look. I originally planned to install threaded bar inserts, but the stock bars on these bikes have an odd size opening in the end, and it was too large for the threaded bar insert. The Cycra kit did come with the bar ends that fit, so I just used those. I changed out the stock grips for some ODI Rogue lock-on grips in the light gray soft compound. These grips add a little cushion for those long races, and I put them on every bike I have. I installed a Magura hydraulic clutch. I've been riding a KTM for the past several years, and I got really accustomed to that buttery smoothness of a hydraulic clutch. The stock clutch cable on the YZ250FX is fine, and the clutch isn't heavy at all, so I don't consider this a must-have, just a nice-to-have addition. While I do think it lightened the pull a little bit, the biggest difference to me is the feel at the engagement point. The hydraulic clutch seems to have a better engagement point feel, and I like that about it. I did a separate video on the hydraulic clutch, and I'll link that video in the description. I installed some Magura frame protectors. My boots were marking up the frame at the first ride, so these protect the frame and give you a little more grip than the bare aluminum. I installed the Toil Super-FLO kit for a little extra insurance on keeping dust and dirt out of the engine. The way the stock filter is held down didn't give me a lot of confidence in that setup. I made a separate video on that as well, and I'll include a link below. I ditched the stock battery for an anti-gravity AG801, and that seemed to really help with the hot starting. I did three things that seemed to really resolve the hot starting, including the battery, raising my idle to 23 to 2400 RPMs, and running Kiefer maps. When dead starting in races, I put the bike in neutral for a little extra insurance, but my bike is starting really well now, hot or cold. I installed number plate graphics from Decal Works, and yes, 250 is my second race number. I set up the colors to blend in with the stock graphics on the bike, and I think it turned out well for a really clean look. I didn't really anticipate needing suspension work when I bought this bike, but it turns out it was oversprung and valve too stiff for a 175-pound, 49-year-old C-Class rider. Steve at Fast Lap helped me out there with new springs and valving for the forks and the shock, and it's feeling great now. Again, being a 49-year-old C-Class rider, I sit more than I probably should, so I bought a Seat Concepts comfort seat, and I'm really enjoying that so far. In addition to the seat, I bought a black gas cap cover to replace the blue one. I did that to match the seat, and also so I'm not always committed to keeping the bike blue. This is a stock Yamaha part, and the trick to getting the black one is to look up a 2020 YZ250F. In 2020, Yamaha made a YZ250F in gray colors, and it had a black gas cap cover. I'll include the part number for the black one in the video description if you're looking for one. I'm also waiting on the GYTR fan kit that's on back order, and I'll get that installed as soon as it comes in. Otherwise, I think I have the bike pretty close to how I want it. There's a parts list in the video description, as well as links to the other videos I've mentioned. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and thanks for watching.